Hello. Yeah, we are now in hour 18
And
of
you,
the,
you look like you've been up all
what?
and you look like you've been up all night.
Yeah, I know I do, don't I? But that's okay. It is what it is. It's all for a good cause.
Absolutely.
And in fact, it's a 24-hour telethon that the Service Heroes are putting on to benefit Chemo Buddies for Life. And I want to welcome my friend, Jeff Steinberg. You are from Florida. You are a man that really knows his way around this kind of a thing. This is my first experience, but it wouldn't be yours, right? You've been doing telethons and all of these for how long?
Well, I did the National Easter Seal Telethon for nearly 10 years. And I did it as a local for 7 years, as a local co-host for 7 years. And then I also did the Variety Club Telethon in with Monty Hall. And I also did the St. Louis Memorial Variety Club Telethon with uh, people like John Forsyth and
Wow.
the Blues Brothers, the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. By the way, I got kissed by every single one of them. It was a riot, man. I just stood there and went, just keep on lining up. You think, and you think you're handicapped. People like Tony Orlando, Luis Manuel, Jim Neighbors. I had the wonderful privilege of getting to know Jim Neighbors. He was an amazing performer. And the performance that we did with him was actually the very first performance after his liver transplant.
Oh, really?
And he hadn't sung for almost a year. And that was the first time. And so I was really, really honored. But I've been doing telethons for as long as I can remember, way, way back into the late 70s. And, just I love doing what I love doing, and that is helping organizations and people like you. And when I found out what you were about and what Chemo Buddies were all about, I said, I need to be a part of this.
You did, actually. You said, come over here and talk to me, Tamara.
That's exactly what I said.
You did. I'll never forget it.
We got to talk. And I hooked my hook onto your arm and said, okay, let's go talk.
Let's talk. That's right.
And you've been ever since.
Yes, and you've been an amazing supporter. And I appreciate it too, because I know you're there. I know you share the love. I know that you get it. And the reason that you get it, do you want to share?
Well, my father died 4 days before my 30th birthday of pancreatic cancer. And while he didn't have any time to do chemo, cancer it's a horrible disease.
Mm-hmm.
And when you are told that you have cancer, you feel like you are singled out and that you are alone, and that it's almost easy to feel like a victim. And people like you who see that people who are going through chemo should never have to do this alone, should never have to stand on their own and simply say, I have nobody. Because, being born with no arms and malformed legs, I don't know if your audience got to see that. I was born in 1981, or in 1951 rather, and the doctors told my father and my grandmother that I probably would not survive. I have no arms and I have mangled, malformed legs. And I grew up in homes and hospitals for kids with disabilities. And I know what it is to feel like the odd man out, like I'm having to make this work, even to feeling like I have to prove something that I can. And and that's what I know, that people facing cancer and treatment for cancer and chemo, they feel like, well, I don't know whether to stand strong, or because I don't want to fall apart because I have no one to fall apart with. And everybody should have somebody that they can hold on to and say, I can't take another step for a while.
That's right.
Walk with me, carry me, whatever. And you feel handicapped. You really feel handicapped. And so when I saw what you were doing, I said, I can relate. Because, my disability is visible. People look at me, they see one myoelectric artificial arm and nothing on this side, and they see one left leg that doesn't straighten and a right leg that doesn't bend, and it's easy to see my disability. And because I don't mind if people stare, I usually tell people, take a picture, it'll last longer. But people who have cancer, their wounds and their hurts and their struggles aren't as easily visible.
Right.
And that's and therein lies the problem. I love what you guys do. I'm a comedian, I'm a singer, I'm a humorist, I'm an author, I'm a recording artist, I'm incredibly talented, very, very cute, and mostly humble. If you don't believe me, just ask me and I'll tell you.
And oh my gosh, you make me laugh every single time that I am around you in any which way, and I absolutely adore that. And I'm not the only one. Oh my gosh, you have an ability to just disarm people, and that's part of what you actually work with that, don't you?
Yes.
And that's part of your message, right?
I use that. When I signed up for my first car insurance, remember back in the day, you're probably too young to remember this, but back in the day, when you signed up for car insurance, they would ask you stupid questions like, are you a member of the armed forces? And they'd look at me, and I've got an artificial arm sitting right in front of them and nothing on the other side. And I just look at them rather calmly and tell them, no, I'm a member of the unarmed forces. A couple of police officers one time and said, you'll never find my fingerprints anywhere. People do the strangest things. I had a 5-year-old that wanted to know why I didn't have any hands. I told him I used to bite my fingernails, and one day I went too far. He's in trauma therapy.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And don't you drive for one of those apps?
Yes. I drive for both of them. I drive for Uber and Lyft. Yeah. It's really fun because I get a rider in the back and they don't look, and then I tell them, oh, I bet I'm the most unique Uber driver you'll ever ride with. And I had these blondes, forgive me, Tamara, but they were blonde and they were more than slightly inebriated. And she says, oh, we've had some really strange drivers. And I said, yeah, but I bet you never had one that didn't have any arms. What? Nothing up my sleeves. I said, oh, no hands. And we're driving 50 miles an hour down the highway, and they're like, no way, wait. How do you drive? I said, fast. I had a businessman. Now you hang out with a lot of business people, and one would think that a businessman in an Armani suit, he's pretty smart, right? I mean, really, he gets in my car, he's sitting in the front seat, he looks at my hook on the wheel, and he says, were you born like that? I said, without the hook? I said, that would really leave a mark. I said, my mom would not be happy. But people do the strangest things when they see someone with no arms and malformed legs. And I utilize that. But I also use it as a part of my message. I've been telling people, Tamara, for 46 years, all that you can be, you can be.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing tonight is telling people who are facing the most difficult and almost impossible situations in their life. You're saying you can be.
That's right.
You're a masterpiece. That's my message. You're a masterpiece in progress. You're exactly, yes, I'm exactly what as God designed for me to be. I have no arms and I have mangled, malformed legs, but I do all of the things that family, friends, and associates have told me all of my life that I couldn't do, shouldn't do, or wouldn't do.
Uh-huh.
I'm married. My wife Ellen and I, we have 4 children and we have 9 grandchildren. And I remember when we told our 13-year-old daughter that I was going to date her mom because we're a blended family.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'd like to date your mom. And without even thinking, our daughter Ruthanna said, just make sure you keep your hands to yourself. And then she realized what she said and said, oh my God, I don't believe I said that. It's just, they don't think about it. And now, of course, we don't think about me in terms of what's missing.
Right.
But rather, and that's what Chemo Buddies is trying to do for those who are facing this kind of devastation, this kind of treatment. They're
Right.
trying to say, hey, you're not going through this alone. We won't let you. You've got somebody that's going to be there for you, and they're going to hang on to you, and they're going to help you through it and walk through it with you. And
Absolutely.
that's what I really wanted to do. And you're a masterpiece in progress. You are special.
Well, thank
And
you.
Tamara, you're special because I know from having talked to you that your heart, your passion is in making sure that these people know that how much they're loved and how much they're cared for.
True. That is. So with that, can we play your song?
Yes.
I would love to. Let's do this. Guys, we have the ability. We are going to play Masterpiece in Progress, and I'm going to let me get it, and so that we can make it large, so that it shows well. And let's see here. Let's see this one. Okay, so I'm going to extend it, and let's play it. Hello, it's Tamara Hunter, and we are a little crazy right now because we are getting, we're in the home stretch. We are stretch. We are That always gets me. It always gets me. You got everybody here. They've been watching it and they just totally loving it. You know, you are a masterpiece in progress, and your book is titled the same. And I've referred to it before. Oh wait, just a minute.
Today was the last.
Just a minute. Let's do this. Okay. What are we going on
that is
here?
A
Just a
bizarre
minute.
question.
We have live TV going on, or live something. So let me figure out what we've got going on here.
That God is indifferent.
Why is this not stopping?
Show me something. Show me a miracle.
Okay. Just a minute. Guys.
I've come here to help you put back together the broken pieces
All right.
of your life.
I don't know why this is not going away. Oh, I know why. Okay. There we go. Figured it out. Okay. It's still, you know, I'm a masterpiece in progress too.
Hey, live telethon.
Yep. So now I just need to get rid of this page here, and there we go. Yay! We did it. Okay. I think I got rid of the other one that I wanted, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and get that back, because there is another one that we are going to be sharing that I actually saw you perform this one in LA live, and I have to say that where I was sitting was right there. I was really lucky to be right in the horseshoe, and I was the chair that's like right there next to where you were singing, and it was the very first time I had ever seen you sing and perform, and you were singing that song, and I will never forget the fact that I literally felt like I had chills and electricity just flowing through me right there with you, and just this whole amazing performance that it was life-changing in many ways, because you know, you have the ability to do that. You have the ability to share with others, to say, what's wrong with you? I'm an Uber driver.
Yeah, what's your excuse?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, right?
Yeah. Both of these songs, Tamara, that I'm sharing with you today, that we're sharing, were written by the same gentleman back more than 20 years ago.
Wow.
And Masterpiece in Progress came about because I was he and I were in California. He was my keyboard player, and we were singing buddies together. And I was speaking in California, and I said, each of us is becoming, one color at a time, the masterpiece that he designed for us. And sometimes those colors blend, and sometimes they sit in sharp contrast up against each other. And we flew home, and the night after we got home, he called me on the phone, and he's about 11 o'clock, and he said, I need to come over and use your piano. I said, okay, why? He said, I've got the title song for your next album. He said, you want to hear it? I said, of course. Now, Jeff has never been one to let me in on any lyrics or any music of anything until he's got it written. But he started to share with me the lyrics to the chorus of Masterpiece in Progress. And I started to hear this, what sounded like a single melody line, build up to this big orchestral crescendo in my head. And he came over to the piano and he sat down and he played it, and our arranger, Don Hart, just took it and ran with it. Well, a few years later, back in about 1989 or thereabouts, we were at an Amway show in DC, and we heard a group doing a patriotic song that they had written called The Veterans of the USA. And we're standing in the hallway, and Jeffrey looks over at me and he says, you know, Steinberg, you need to have a patriotic song. And I looked up at him tongue in cheek and I said, "Oh, and who am I going to get to write a patriotic song for me?" Because I said to him, well, I've been thinking about doing a medley. And he kind of slapped at me, kind of jestingly, and he said, no, you don't need a medley of something somebody else wrote. You need something written just for you. And that's when I looked at him and I said, and who am I going to get to write a patriotic song for me? Maybe I will.
Uh-huh.
That was a Saturday. Sunday afternoon, we flew home, back to Tennessee, where we were living. And by the time we landed, he said, I got your patriotic song written.
Wow.
And we sat down at the piano and he sang it to me, and we took it to our arranger, Don Hart, and put a 46-piece orchestra and chorus. And it's the most amazing piece I've ever done.
It is incredible. In fact,
but what's important is, and this is important, both of these songs emphasize the human potential.
Yes.
And the fact that I can strive to be more than the sum total of what I look like, or how I'm feeling.
Right.
People with cancer who are dealing with chemotherapy, they don't feel like going to the treatment. A lot of them are probably saying, you know what, we start rationalizing and saying, well, you know, it's just not worth it because I'm going to feel even worse when it's done. And that's what a chemo buddy, and I'm bringing it back to the cause because that's what I do.
That's right.
That's what a chemo buddy does. It says, that chemo buddy says, it is worth it. It's worth it to me. It's worth it to everyone you love. And I'm going to be there by your side. And I'm going to make sure that you feel the value of going to make yourself better.
Exactly.
Masterpiece in progress is not important if you can't see the possibilities. Each of us. If my family and friends only saw that the artificial arm and the fact that I don't have any arms, and saw my life in terms of what I'm missing, then they're missing. Because when you give to support a cause like this, when you give to make these things happen, you help a potential Jeff Steinberg, a potential Tamara Hunter. You invest yourself in the healing and the help and the hope. And it's not just a slogan. It's not.
No.
There are people who would have seen me as, oh, well, that poor handicapped boy, he doesn't have any more potential than to live in an institution and be cared for by the state. And yet I left Good Shepherd when I graduated from high school in 1971. And I have been all over the world, and I have stood on stages with tens of thousands of people, and I've been in boardrooms with 30 and 40. So, and the message is always the same. You're a masterpiece in progress.
Yes.
You know, Mark Twain once said, the two most important days in a man's life is first, the day he's born, and second, the day he finds out why.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
And some of you watching this Facebook-a-thon, or whatever we're calling it.
Yeah, I like that. Facebook-a-thon. That's good.
and you're sitting there saying, yeah, that's easy for them to say. But the fact of the matter is, my question to you is, what are you born for? Are you born for more? Yeah. If you can't go be a chemo buddy, then help Tamara find a chemo buddy and send a chemo buddy. Help Tamara make every person who faces chemo, help them realize the masterpiece in themselves.
Absolutely.
Because that's when you're really doing the most good. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for people who invested themselves in me. And now it's time for you to be the one to invest in someone and say, hey, I can help you make a difference. And that's what it's all about, folks.
That is what it's all about. You said it so well. And I have to say that I have read your book. I've shared that with you, and your story is incredible. And I go back to it so many different times because of the fact that there's nothing in our life. If we are alive, there's nothing. And I know that there's so many things that come at you, and I realize that. And opening yourself up to say this, sometimes things even that much more comes at you. But in truth, you are still alive. Then there is a way for you to get through whatever it is. And that idea that you are a masterpiece in progress, it allows, it allows for me a lot because, yeah, it was supposed to be a telethon. We were supposed to have an 877 number. I have it. It's just we couldn't get it to work for some reason. And, it's like, okay, well, then it's a masterpiece in progress. And, next year we'll have it working. And
that's right. Year will be bigger and better.
Exactly. There's no worries about that because you know what? The main thing here, Jeff, it's just like it's just like we've talked about, is that it's being done. We're doing it. And you have to do it. You have to show up. You have to do it. It's just like when you go to those, when you were on your East Coast trip and you were doing your tour and you had, some changes in personnel that you needed to have take place and the things that were going on with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yet, did you stop? Did you not do it? Did you say, I just don't know, so I'm sorry, I can't show up? No, you just kept going. Okay, I got to find someone. I got to make things happen. But you know what? I show up because I'm a masterpiece in progress.
That's right. So, folks, you see that little paypal.me/Chemo Buddies for life? Instead of Facebooking your friends, instead of listening to some whiny somebody or another complain about left or right or in the middle, go there. Make a difference. Make a pledge. Donate.
Donate, yes.
Give a little something. Give a part of yourself. Because in the long run, it's going to come back to bless you.
Yeah.
In ways you can't even possibly imagine.
Isn't that the truth? You know what? I would love to share with with everybody now that beautiful, beautiful patriotic song. All right, I'm gonna bring it up. Let's enjoy it right now. Okay, I can unmute my song. Okay, so let's get this going. Wow. Now, they heard it here. Now I understand that not everybody got to hear the whole thing, and that's my fault. And so what I will do is I will include, after this, I will include in the comments both videos so that people can listen to them and see them again, because, the bottom line is, Jeff, you are so talented. You are a masterpiece in progress. You are my friend. You are a service hero. You are a man extraordinaire. And your story is one that lets us all know, no matter what, there's no reason not to give our best to that day, that situation, to our buddy, to those that need us, and to those that care.
For sure. And for those that are interested, we are available to come and speak and or sing or entertain or motivate or whatever for your organization, your group. They can contact me via jeffsteinberg.net for corporate, and or tinygiant.com if you have a church or a religious organization. And my phone numbers and all my information is on those websites, but jeffsteinberg.net and tinygiant.com, and it would be a real pleasure. And Tamara, we need to do something live together.
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, next year is going to be a live event. We tried to do something live this year. It hasn't worked, but you know what? Next year is the year. So I am totally open for that. We are going to make that happen, Jeff.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I am too. We are going to, and we are going to just rock that house.
And you folks, pick up your iPad, pick up your phone, and donate.
Yes, and in fact, there's these different programs that we have. We have donate $10, receive the headband. $15, you have a hat and hair cap.
Hair I can get.
Yeah. You want a little puff of hair in the back?
There you go.
And so then Dr. Jay Johnson, we've got his program, amazing program. We have, I'm not sure if we still have Dawn's program available or not, if that's taken. I'm not sure on all of it now, but we need to definitely find out because, and then we have a couple of other programs, and so we're gonna we'll do an audit, we'll see where they're at, and then we will do some updates, and so that everybody knows, because the bottom line is this: every single one of these people that have come on, Jeff and all of them, they are absolutely the best in their industry, their field, their specialty. And I'm honored that they're my friends and they have come to the call and said, hey, Chemo Buddies is something that I want to see have support. I want to see people to donate, and I want it so much I'm willing to show up. And that meant so much to me. I want to say thank you so much.
Tamara, if you get in touch with me after this is all over, I'll get you some CDs with Masterpiece and Tiny Giant, and for those donors that you designate are special enough, you're welcome to send them out to them.
Oh, thank you. That's awesome. I mean, guys, if you didn't get the chills like I did, I don't know what's going on, because I know that everybody here in our facility here, standing ovation. So absolutely.
Whatever I can do to help, I'm happy to do it. And you folks, give until it feels good. When it stops hurting, then it starts to feel good.
Oh, there you go. Isn't that the truth?
Torture yourself. Give.
Thank you so very much. I want you to say hi to your wife for me.
And I shall. And Ellen sends her love. And I asked her if she wanted to be on, and she said, I'm not dressed for it.
That's okay. Tell her that's all right. Neither am I.
In my office, just kind of lounging about, taking it easy. Hey, I believe in this cause, folks. And I believe that Chemo Buddies deserves your support. Nobody knows when they're going to be facing cancer. And the hardest, darkest words anybody hears is when they're told that they've got cancer. And they don't want to be told alone. And they don't want to have to face it alone. And sometimes family or friends aren't always there. Sometimes even family and friends don't know what to do or what to say or how to cope. So, here's Tamara. Been there, done that, and found somebody who needed a friend and decided that this is a good thing, to find friends for those who are having to cope with the most horrible condition, disease, and know that they're not going to face it alone. Hey, I can live without arms. I can live with bent legs, and I can thrive. And with your help, the people facing chemo won't have to feel like they're just surviving, but they can feel like they can thrive. For a little bit, for a long time, however, nobody knows. But the masterpiece keeps on going, and you can be a part of that masterpiece. Go to the paypal.me/Chemo Buddies for Life. Make a donation. Give a little something of yourself to someone you don't even know, and help them find the masterpiece in themselves. And maybe you'll find the masterpiece in you too.
Well, I know you've helped me find the masterpiece inside of me. And I know I'm still in progress, but I have so much hope because.
Yeah, but there's some pretty colors.
Yeah. And don't you just love our Christmas, the season, season of giving backdrop that our amazing volunteers put together. Very lucky to have some, and that's where you can see that we've got a lot of love, and the love that you shared tonight, Jeff. And you guys, this man is 3 hours ahead, so you stayed up to be able to share with us.
It's almost 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I know, and well, it's only. Let's see.
It's dinner time. You're where you're at.
Yeah. So well, maybe I'm just thinking 9 o'clock's kind of late, but I guess that was 3 days ago.
It's been 9 o'clock a couple of times for you, right?
Yeah, we've seen it come and go. It's just, is the sun up or not? I don't know.
We love you, Tamara, and anytime we can do anything for you, you just feel free to give me a call. And when you're in Orlando or you're in Florida, you pick up the phone and call me. Okay?
Absolutely, that's a date. That's a deal. All right, my friend.
All right.
Thank you so very much.
All right.
Talk to you again soon.
Good night.
Night.